Hello, everybody. This is your favorite professor, Profe Kyle. And we're doing another interview with former students. And in front of me, I have the wonderful, the beautiful Fernanda. Fernanda, how are you?
Hi, Kyle. I'm doing good.
And Fernanda, she got dressed up. She did her makeup. She's looking good
Of
today.
course.
She made sure that everyone saw how good she looks when she puts in the work.
Yeah, of course, this is gonna be recording. So,
Yeah, exactly. Well,
as a
and of
as
course,
a good Venezuelan, as a
yeah,
good
exactly. So Fernanda's
maracucha,
Venezuelan,
yeah,
so
I
she's
need to
got to look
represent.
good, represent her country.
Yeah, of
Exactly.
course.
All right. So I guess maybe I'll introduce Fernanda to everybody watching this. So Fernanda, I don't know how long. How long did you take classes for? 1 year?
I think yeah, like almost 10 months.
About 10 months. So yeah, Fernanda started taking classes with me, yeah, probably last year. And she took classes with me for 10 months. And she recently stopped taking classes because she's got a bit of a crazy life. We're going to talk about her crazy life in a little bit. But yeah, so Fernanda, she was in my intermediate group classes, and yeah, she was a fantastic student. But I guess Fernanda, let's talk a little bit about yourself. So you're from Venezuela, correct?
Yes, yeah.
All right.
Well, my name is Fernanda Rincon. I'm
Mm,
from Venezuela, exactly in Maracaibo.
mhm,
I'm 26 years old,
mhm.
and I've been living in US for the past 3.5 years.
3.5 years. Yeah, and actually, it was funny because in the class that Fernanda was in, I think there was one or how many? There's like, well, Mary Angelica, she's Maracucha as well, and I think there might
Yeah.
have been, wasn't there one more Maracucha? Can't remember who else was
Mm,
Mara, or was it just you and Mary Angelica?
yeah, me and
Okay.
Angelica, yeah.
But yeah, her class was funny because it's almost all Venezuelans. I think there was only two other, maybe like one Colombian and then an Ecuadorian, something like that. So it was a very Venezuelan dominant class. She was very
Yeah,
lucky.
exactly.
So you've been
we
in
we represent.
represent very well. Yeah, I get lots of, or maybe good question for you. Why do Venezuelans like me? Do you know why Venezuelans like me, Fernanda? I'm trying to
I
figure it
think
out.
because like you're because you're fun,
All right.
and we
Venezuelans
we,
are
we
fun
really
people.
enjoy that. We don't like bored things, and
Hmm.
yeah, I
Yeah,
think
that's
that.
because I got so many students who are Venezuelan and Colombian. But
Yeah, and I think we are people like we want like to improve our
mhm,
English. We want to learn something. We are like doing some. We are migrating to
mhm,
all the countries, and because almost a lot of the all of the Venezuelans that we are
mhm,
taking your classes, we are like in Chile
mhm,
and Peru or in here in United States. So
mhm.
I
Yeah,
think
that's true. That's true. Yeah, lots of Venezuelans forced to leave Venezuela. So you guys learned the hard way that yeah, you got to learn
yeah,
English to
exactly.
make it easier to get out. And
Yeah.
so, well, okay, you got a bit of a crazy life. So let's try to go through this. So you left Maracaibo 4 years ago, correct?
Uh, yeah, like no, 4 years and a half because
Four
I
and a half years
lived
ago. Yeah.
1 year before in Peru.
Okay. Yeah. So, because Venezuelans took different routes getting out of Venezuela. So what was your routes to get out of Venezuela? Was it like Colombia, then Ecuador, then Peru, or did you go straight from Maracaibo to Lima?
No, I travel.
You traveled, yeah. So
Yes.
I want to know
Oh my
about the
god.
Venezuelan route. What
Yeah.
what was it like?
Yeah, that is a crazy story, but I'm not talking about that.
You know what I'm talking about? Okay. Maybe there's
No.
personal details. I've heard some crazy things from those escape routes from Venezuela. But yeah, so
Yeah.
you took that route though from Colombia to Ecuador, then
Yeah. I,
to
I
Peru
travel by bus.
by bus the entire time.
Yeah.
And was it like a direct trip, or did you stop for a little bit in Colombia, then
Yeah,
you
we
stopped for
need
a
to
little
we
bit?
need to stop for the borders.
Oh, at the borders, okay.
Yeah, at the
And was it
borders.
difficult for Venezuelans to get across the borders?
Oh,
Like,
at that time, no.
no?
Like I was like what I was with my passport and everything. I
Mm,
I I I could travel by plane, but
mhm.
for some things I decide to
Oh,
go
for
by
some
bus.
reason. Oh, this is we're gonna find out some dirty secrets.
You know
So yeah,
that my
maybe.
life is so interesting.
Okay. Well, yeah.
More
So
than
that's why.
that it was. Yeah.
That's why Fernanda can't tell the details because who knows? Maybe the police will come knocking at her
No,
door.
no, 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 no. For that, no.
All right. So, and you lived in Lima for 1 year?
Yeah.
Yeah. How do you like Lima? Do you like it?
One thing about Kyle, if you
Yeah.
want to know, like he's so curious. Like you need to
Well,
talk,
yeah. I want to know
even if
all
you
the.
don't want, you need to talk. Like,
Oh, I guess
uh,
we're talking about classes now.
yeah,
One benefit of Profe Kyle is I want to know all the details.
yeah,
Yeah. Did you like Lima or no?
yeah.
It's okay.
It was not easy
Mm-hmm.
for Venezuelans.
Mm-hmm.
I think living there because it's not a country that is prepared for
Yeah.
many immigrants. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's not like here. Like here, you can find people for the all the countries,
Mm-hmm.
but there is different. And yeah, it wasn't easy for us,
Mm-hmm.
but I learned a lot of things, and
Mm-hmm.
I see that as a good experience in my life.
Good learning experience. All right. But you're able to get out. And yeah, so after Lima, you went directly to the United States?
Yes.
Yes. And you went to Miami or did you go somewhere else?
Yeah, I went to Miami,
Mm-hmm.
and after I moved to Orlando with my best friend. Hmm.
Okay. Yeah. And is there a reason why lots of Venezuelans go to Florida? Is there a reason you went to Florida? Was there relatives? Were there
Yeah,
other
yeah,
friends
that's
that were
why.
there?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because of course I was like getting in a new country, and
Mm-hmm.
it's good to have a hand that can help you. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and my best friend told me like, okay, Fernanda, I'm going to help you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to support you like the first months that you're going to be here, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Yeah.
that
All right.
was good.
Uh-huh. Well, because I think last time I talked to you, I think because you were living with your mom for a while, right?
Mm, just like this year.
Just this
Yeah,
year. Oh,
because
because that was the first time living with your mom.
yeah,
Yeah.
here and yeah,
Mhm.
I I haven't living with my mom like for 3 years or something like that.
Oh, okay. And
Yeah.
when because you live with your mom for 1 year, like she just came from Venezuela when you started living together, or was she already in the United States? Because I think you
No,
told me
no,
that she's working in the United States, right?
yeah, no, we come in together.
Oh, you came
But like
together? Yeah.
she stayed in Miami, and
Mhm.
I moved to Orlando.
Ah, okay. Yeah, I see. All right.
Yeah.
But yeah, because now, yeah, because it got crazy details here. So you were in Orlando. Did you go back to Miami? Because I think you were in Miami, weren't you, when you were doing classes with me?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So how
Yeah,
long did you live in Orlando?
I moved to Orlando. I was
Yeah.
living there like for 2 years,
Okay.
but I was working like traveling, so I never been
Yeah.
there a lot of time.
Oh, okay. So you're traveling, working, traveling, working, traveling, working.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
And I had my apartment there in Orlando like for 1 year, maybe in
Hmm.
2020 or
Okay.
no, 2021.
Okay. Yeah.
And I didn't keep with that rent, so I moved to Miami with my mom, and
Okay.
that's when I started taking your classes.
Okay. Oh, now we get to the current time. Mm. Well, now, because obviously lots of Venezuelans, well, actually lots of Latinos go to Florida. And for me, I always call Miami the capital of Latin America because I
Yeah,
got
totally. Yeah.
all Latinos love Miami for whatever reason. Argentinians like Miami, Mexicans like Miami, Venezuelans like Miami, Brazilians like Miami. So yeah, so you've been in Florida. Do you have a preference for cities? Which do you prefer, Orlando or Miami?
Mm, I think Miami. I love Miami,
Yeah,
but now it's too crowded for me.
it's like
Like
there's too many people. In what sense is it
yeah,
crowded?
yeah, exactly. Yeah, like it is. I now in this um, part of my life,
Yeah, You-
Fernanda's story.
you're maturing. You're maturing. Yeah.
Yeah. I just now we are going to talk about that later because now I'm studying,
Yeah.
and I need to be in a place like quiet,
Hmm.
relaxed with not a lot of distractions.
And Miami has a lot of distractions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you can like you can enjoy your time in Miami, but if you can like control it, you can lose. You can lose your
yourself.
mind.
Yeah. Get
Yourself,
distracted. Yeah, who knows what happens. And I've been to Miami once. What is it like to be a Latino in Miami? Because I think from what I've heard, it's you got lots of Puerto Ricans, you got lots of Cubans, you got Colombians, you got seems like quite a mixture of Latinos. Like, is it exactly how I described, or is it like one group which dominates in Miami, or is it an equal amount of all Latinos?
Cubans. There
Mostly
are a
Cubans,
lot of
yeah.
Cubans, yeah, in
Yeah.
Miami. Yeah, I think the people said that they built Miami, yeah, because they migrate like a lot of years, and a lot of years before, like maybe 50 years or something like that, and
Yeah.
they went to Miami, and they probably own Miami, if you can, if
Yeah.
we can say that.
Okay.
Yeah,
So yeah, it's a
but
dominant
there
group
are
in
a lot of
Miami are the
Venezuelans
Cubans. Yeah.
too, Argentinians and Colombians, and also people from Central America, like Nicaragua, Honduras, and everything. Yeah, it's yeah. But I think the most Latin people in Miami is the Cubans.
And because when Latinos go to Canada, for example, it's kind of funny because, you know, when Latinos are in Latin America, they're always fighting. Argentinians are always telling everybody else that they're ugly or that they don't know how to do things. And then, you know, people in Colombia telling everybody else they don't know how to dance. You know, Venezuelans saying they got the best arepas. And so it's like Latinos are always fighting with each
Controversial.
other. But when they come to Canada, all of a sudden they love each other. Argentinians are hugging Venezuelans. Venezuelans are hugging Brazilians. But in Miami, like, do the different Latinos kind of stick to their groups, or is there a lot of mixing between the
No,
Latinos?
we got like there are like mixed, but we have also like some areas like Doral for Venezuelans, like um Calle Ocho, I don't know,
That's
like
Cuban, isn't it?
Cubans, yeah, and
Yeah.
some streets they call like Little Havana.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and I think in Miami Beach there are a lot of Argentinians. Yeah, because I think.
Yeah, okay, makes sense. All right. Well, I'm always curious about Miami. Okay, and then, but you're not in Miami anymore, right? You're in New Jersey. Is that where you're at now?
Yeah, I'm in New Jersey now. Yeah, that's
All
why.
right.
That's why my
It's like
clothes. I'm
yeah.
freezing, literally.
You can't wear a sweater in Miami, but in New Jersey in the wintertime, yes, you definitely need a sweater. Do you know what the temperature is right now in New Jersey?
Let me tell you. I think it's
What's in
like
Fahrenheit? I don't even know how to. I know a little bit about Fahrenheit, but I'm not an expert.
oh yeah, 43 Fahrenheit.
43? Well, that's okay. So still above zero. It's not incredibly cold.
But it's
There's
too
no snow
cold.
yet. Yeah.
No, it's not. No, but I think in North New York, yeah, there is.
Yeah.
In Celsius is 6.
6 degrees Celsius. Yes, that's not bad. I think one of my students also lives in New Jersey. She told me that was raining. It's been raining in New Jersey a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's raining. Yeah.
Yeah,
Today is sunny. I'm happy for that. I was like in the other floor of the house, and I was like, okay, I love sun.
Oh, like the sun was coming in the window, so you're
Yeah,
sunbathing a
through
little
the
bit.
door, through
Yeah,
the
yeah.
back door. Yeah.
I know how you feel. Same thing in Canada. When there's a little bit of sun coming through the window, you just try to soak it all in because there's not a lot of sun in the wintertime.
Yeah.
And right now because you took class with me, and then at the very end of your time, you started studying. I think you're studying accounting. Is that correct?
Yeah. I'm proud of me.
Proud of yourself, yeah.
I started in August my first semester of a master's programs in accountancy.
Yeah, because you studied accounting in Venezuela. That's what you got
Yeah,
your
I have my
bachelor's degree in.
bachelor. Yeah, I have my bachelor's degree in Venezuela of public accountancy, and yeah, here I just start my master's program in Ohio University.
Okay, and how long is the program for?
For me, that I have like the background in accountancy is gonna be like 5 semesters.
5 semesters.
Yeah.
Latinos
I
always say
just finished
semesters.
like
Wait, what
last
semester?
Tuesday.
Like it's 2.5 years, right? No, oh, 5
Mm,
semesters. There's 1, 2. Yeah, it's 2.5 years, isn't it?
No, it's like 18 months.
18 months. Oh, because they're doing like semester after semester, no breaks.
No breaks. Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay, so
I
like
just have
yeah.
break right now. I'm
Uh-huh.
gonna start in January
Oh
again.
yeah, it's like. Well, did you have exams? Because no, for Canadians, usually December is when we have exams, and then yeah, second half of
No,
December is Christmas, and then we go back to classes in January.
no. I just finished like last Tuesday,
Okay.
and we're gonna start my second course,
Mm-hmm.
and we're gonna start the spring semester in January.
January. Okay, and then be
Mhm.
January till was it April?
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
yeah.
something like that. All right, and then yeah. So normally in a regular university, getting your bachelor's, you have the summer off, but so you're gonna keep on study.
Yeah,
So after
exactly.
that spring
Yeah,
semester, then
we got
summer
like
semester.
1 or 2 weeks off and
Yeah.
start the next semester.
All
Yeah.
right. So it's pretty intense.
Yeah. Like I'm gonna like thanks to you and
Mm-hmm.
your course because
Mm-hmm.
I feel more confident now.
Mm-hmm.
I also like afraid in some things like
Mm-hmm.
because I'm studying like in a academic thing. So
Yeah,
but I realized that I can
mm-hmm.
I can do it. Like
You can do it. Yeah.
I sometimes when I talk to my friends, like I said like, oh no, I'm studying English and I'm
Mm-hmm.
learning, and after that I said like, oh yeah, I'm doing my master's program, and they said like in English, and I say yes, of course, it's a
Mm-hmm.
university in United States,
Yeah, yeah.
and but you but that means that you know like you, and I say like yeah probably
Yeah, no,
yeah
I know English.
yeah
I know
yeah.
pretty good English. Mhm. And the classes, are they online classes or are they in
Online.
person? Online. Well, I'm guessing because you're in
Online.
New Jersey and it's Ohio University. So,
Exactly.
okay.
Exactly.
Yeah. And how,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
just curious about that. So, how many, well, as Fernanda said, I'm curious about everything. So, how big are the classes? Is it like a huge online virtual classroom or is it nice and small?
No, the first one because we were mixed. I was mixing with some MBA's programs. We got
Okay.
like a big class. Yeah,
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
we were like 18. No,
18
80.
people? 80. Oh,
80
yeah. 80, oh,
person.
yeah.
80,
80. Yeah.
80
80. Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
80 people. Yeah.
and in my second class that is directly focusing accountancy,
Mhm.
we were like I think 17.
So
Hmm.
yes, that's pretty good size for a
Yeah.
university class. All right, good. And well, so because obviously for you, you're an immigrant to the United States. So you're doing two things. One, you're learning accounting, and secondly, it's in your second language. So how difficult is it for you? Like, what's the most difficult? Is the accounting the most difficult, or is it like listening to the English, which is the most difficult?
Oh, the English part.
The
But I told you, like, it was like more like my fear. Like,
Mhm.
yeah, I was like super worried about it.
Mhm.
But after I realized that I did it well, I think like in my
Yeah.
in my first class we were like a lot of people, so
Mhm.
I didn't have like to
Mhm.
speak.
Mhm.
But in my second class, like the professor said like, oh, all the people need to interact and
Mhm.
answer some questions to get the points of the class. And I say,
Mhm.
what?
Mhm.
But like in the first class, like I was like freeze.
Yeah.
But when I heard like the other people, like there are like some people from India
Mhm.
and I don't know, like from Europe or something like that.
Mhm.
Uh, people that I realized that they were foreigners,
Mhm. Yeah.
and I feel better after that. Like okay, like they got like some accent, and
Mhm.
I don't feel like ashamed.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm pretty sure you have less of an accent than most Indians. The Indians, they got the strong
Yeah, but
accent, that's
they're
for sure.
they're so smart.
Yeah.
I realized that like they have accents, but they speak really well.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah, definitely. I've met some Indians that have like really sophisticated vocabulary. If they're from a good family, then they have like a really they have that Indian accent, but at the same time, they have a very sophisticated vocabulary. Like, you know, that they've gone to good schools and they came from a good family. Yeah, for sure.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right. Well, that's pretty much your life. Let me see. I guess we better start asking you questions about my classes. And even though you kind of gave some teasers, well, you already gave me such a good stamp of approval. Because of your classes, I'm able to do a master's program. Oh yes, I'm going to use that for sure in my future propaganda. I don't think we call it propaganda. I like how you guys say in Spanish is propaganda. It's like propaganda para mis clases. Like, when gringos hear propaganda, it sounds like something a dictator would use to brainwash his citizens. But for Latinos, no. Yeah, if there's any Latinos watching this, if you say propaganda when it's not a political context, it kind of sounds like, for example, if a Latino said, Fernanda said, Profe Kyle has really good propaganda. Kind of sounds like I'm a dictator, like I'm Castro, I'm Stalin, or Mao, and I like brainwash the people. Even though I do try to brainwash my students, it's very important to brainwash your students. You got to convince them that they can learn English. Yeah. All right. So let's talk about the classes then. So, let's talk about learning English first. When did you start learning English? Was it in Venezuela? Was it in Lima? Was it the United States? When did you start learning?
Yeah, I started learning English. I think in the school, like in elementary school. Like in Venezuela, you should have like one class of English for the, like, through the years in elementary and also in high school. But I think it was like basic English, and I think for all the years we learned like the verb to be.
Every semester was just I am a doctor, you are a nurse.
Yeah, exactly. And make sentences. And there were like some schools that they have like better English classes.
I'm guessing it's the same. Like in most of Latin America, usually, from what I know, like the best English classes in colegio are normally going to be for the private colegios, right? I'm guessing the private.
Like the more expensive schools, there were like better English class. I can say. Yeah.
Did you go to a fancy school, or did you go to a normal school?
No, like was a regular. Was private, but was a regular school. Yeah.
All right. So how much English do you feel like you learned from elementary school and high school? Well, like when you finished high school, how much English did you know?
No, just the basic things like colors, letters, like make some sentences, like to describe some things, and that's it. And after that, when I start my university, I start a course, a program in my city, and I already graduated from that course. Like I studied there like maybe 19 levels. Yes. 19 levels.
Yeah.
And one level like long, maybe 1 month and a half.
Okay, I was gonna ask you how long. So a month and a half. So it's like 3 years almost study.
Yeah, and sometimes like I stop and I start again. I stop and start again.
Okay, because you study at university as well. Now in Venezuela, are there English classes at university? Because when I was in Colombia, for example, I think most. No English classes?
Not in my university.
Okay.
I know that other university in my city, they should have like, they should be in English classes, but not in mine. Yeah.
Okay. And what was the reason for you to take the English classes at the institute, the private institute? Was it your choice? Was it your parents' choice?
Yeah, like for my uncle and my aunt, they always told me like, oh, Fernanda, you need to learn English because you are gonna get better job opportunities, and you wanna like work in another country or something like that. And it was true. And of course, at that time, the things in Venezuela getting worse.
So did your aunt and your uncle, did they tell you that, was that like when you were a little girl, they were already telling you that, or like that was before things were getting really bad, they were already telling you just in case something
No,
happens, you
no.
want to
Like
have English.
since when I was like a teenager,
Okay, yeah.
they told me like you need to learn English, and one of my uncle was living here from like more than 20 years.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So yeah, and he was like always like into technology, you know, like more I don't know how to say that, like he lived here and we were living in Venezuela, so the things were too different, like, oh,
Mhm.
you should try this, and
Mhm. It was like he
yeah.
was giving you information from the future, something like that. It was like, okay, like this is
Yeah,
happening right now in the United States, so just so you guys know in Venezuela what's going
yeah,
on.
yeah, something like that, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, you did. So well, no, you took 19 levels in this private institute. And yeah, after you finished that, what would you say your English level was? Did you feel it was really high? Did you feel confident in your English?
No, I didn't feel confident,
No?
but I learned a lot of things.
Hmm.
But when I came here, was totally different. Like
Hmm.
I think that I don't know. I don't know what is happening. Like I, of course, I could like read signs.
Hmm.
I could like ask for something what I
Hmm.
want, or
Hmm.
you know, I can
You
express
could
myself
survive.
in a
Yeah.
certain level. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I can understand like some things. But when you came here, like life is too different.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Well, because I think there's two different kinds of people. There's some people who take language courses, and after they finish a few courses, they feel like there's two options. They feel like they know the language really well and they're super confident. And there's other people who have little confidence and they think they don't know anything. And then, yeah, when they go to the country, so the people who think they have a very low basic level of the language, they realize, oh, I'm pretty good at this. And then you got the people who are really confident and they realize, oh, I don't know as much as I thought I did.
Yeah, I think like the languages, like learn new languages is not for everybody. Like I had
No?
like one, yeah, like my little cousin, like
Mm-hmm.
he studied in the same course than me, and he speak like an American, and he
Yeah.
didn't live here. And I
Mm-hmm.
say, okay, like you can born with some skills
Yeah. Yeah.
that is something like more easy for you than the others.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But in my case,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't born with that.
You
So I
weren't
need
born
like
with that
to,
ability. Yeah.
yeah, like I need to fight for it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I'm doing now.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so it's a bit of a wake up call when you came to the United States. A bit of a wake up call that you had to keep on learning English, right?
Yeah, but not at that time, because
Okay.
I was just focused on work.
Mhm. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, and like I start working a lot of hours
Hmm.
per week, and a lot of things.
Hmm.
And like after 2 years,
Hmm.
the and of course when I was like, I was surrounded but for a lot of Latinos, like
Hmm.
Latin people.
Hmm.
And sometimes like of course I can communicate it with like some Americans,
Hmm.
but I don't feel like, I didn't feel confident at that time.
Hmm. Yeah.
And that's why like after 2 years, when I like stopped working a lot,
Hmm.
like yeah, I was working like more than 60 hours per week. So
Yeah.
I said like, okay, I want something more for my life. I
Hmm.
want to improve, I want to
Hmm.
get a better job. I and in the like for to do that in this country, you need to
Hmm.
speak English, and you need to know the language perfect, I
Hmm.
think, or as better as you can,
Hmm.
because you get more job opportunities, and you can surround to you can get a better network. with the English.
Because I think I've heard that from a lot of Latinos, especially in even Miami. Like I tell Latinos and even Latinos in Miami, they'll tell me, don't come to Miami if you want to learn English because not a lot of English is spoken in Miami. But it's funny though, you talk to Latinos in Miami and they say, like, even though it's mostly a Spanish speaking city, if you do want to be one of the people that gets ahead, you need to know English. Because for me, it's kind of strange because there's so many Latinos. So you think you'd be like, why would you have to learn English if it's all Latinos? So I don't know if you have any reasons, but maybe explain for people who aren't in the United States why, and not even Miami. I've been to many cities in the United States, whether it's Las Vegas or Chicago. There's lots of Latinos and they speak Spanish all the time. But I guess for Latinos who aren't in the United States, why? Like, what do you mean by network? What does it mean that you need to know English if you want to get ahead? Why is Spanish not enough if you're a Latino living in the United States?
Because like this is United States of America. Like the big companies are owned for like Americans and all the things that you see here, even if you speak Spanish, you go to the softwares, you go to the government page, and everything is in English. Of course, you can translate, but it's not always. You can call like customer service, and you're going to speak like faster when you don't post like the Mark 9 for Spanish. you sometimes you need to wait more time.
Okay, yeah.
Because
for me, like, I've been in the United States and I'm actually quite surprised because like in Canada, everything is in English and French because we're a bilingual country. Now, the United States doesn't officially have official language, but of course the unofficial official language is English. But at the same time, when I go to the United States, it always has translations in Spanish. So for me, it's like, oh, like it seems like if I were a Latino, I wouldn't even need to know English because everything is in Spanish. But yeah, basically what you're saying is even if there is an option to, you know, get a customer service representative in Spanish, it's going to take longer. Things aren't as quickly done if you have to do everything in Spanish.
Yeah, and I think also if you're applying for a job, you're going to be interviewed in English, even in Miami. At least you're going to.
It could be like a 40-year-old Venezuelan boss, and even if you're Venezuelan, she's going to be interviewing you in English.
No. In that case,
maybe Spanish.
It should be in Spanish. But if you know English, it's a plus.
Okay, yeah, for sure.
I was working in a small firm, accountancy firm in Miami, and my boss like she always speaks Spanish. But like all of the software, all of the pages when we need like to create a company or something like that, everything was in English. And if you don't know English, you can't do it, or it's gonna be harder for you.
Yeah, so it's almost like if you're Latino in the United States and you don't speak English, it's almost like, I like the word in Spanish, estancado. You're just like, you're kind of stuck. You can't really get ahead.
Yeah, I think like you can achieve like a lot of things in Spanish, but it's a big step in your life if you can get better opportunities if you speak English.
Okay, for sure.
I think for me it's absolutely necessary.
Okay. And so you worked for 2 years. Did you feel like your English improved at all, or you never spoke English enough to improve?
No, it improved, even if I was like surrounded by Latinos, but not enough. Like I could get some conversation, and when we were in a group and some supervisors asked like, oh, who can like translate? I said like, okay, I can do it. Because like I was thinking like I need to practice. And of course, I didn't a lot, but I try to do it as much as I can. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. All right. So after 2 years, you said you wanted more for your life. Is that when you started taking classes with me, or did you start take classes in another place before you started taking classes with me?
It's when I start classes with you.
All right.
Because I follow you since when I was in Lima.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was
So that's like when I first started, because you were in Lima. Yeah, it was like basically when I first
I
started
was in
making
Lima like
videos.
in 2018.
Yeah, so like when I first started making videos is when you started following me.
Yeah, and I remember that some friend of mine like repost your videos.
Okay.
And and I was like watching the videos, was interesting for me, and I follow you. And after that, when I was like here, in the US, like I was like following you. You got like good content, and yeah, I keep following you. And but I didn't have like time to take the course, like because I work a
Yeah, you're
lot,
working.
and
Yeah,
I was working. And after that, when I decided, I just like contact you by WhatsApp, and you put it in the wait list.
and the famous Profe Kyle waiting list.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to get in right away, but no, you must wait. Except for right now, if you are intermediate, Mondays and Wednesdays, there are spots available. Yes. So anybody watching this, that's the one that Fernanda took. Yeah, good group of people. Good group of people.
Yeah, good group.
All right. And so was there, because I think the biggest thing for you was just time. So you had the time to start taking classes. Was there another reason that you decided to take classes with me? Was there something else that made you say, okay, I'm going to take classes with Profe Kyle for this reason and not with anybody else?
Yeah, because I was interested about how it's gonna be. Like I was watching your videos, your pronunciation things, your like your words and everything, and I said, okay, I want to improve my English. I'm gonna start. I want to get a better job. I want to like get something new, and I start.
And so when you started, for you, what was the biggest challenge in English that you were facing? Because you said so far you just wanted to improve. Was there something specifically that you wanted to improve?
Yeah, like the speaking part and the listening. I think the listening was my major weakness.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now I realize that I improved because like when I was like in maybe in a store buying something or something like that, and it was like two Americans, two people like talking in English. I just listen like blah 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 blah.
Yeah, so that was before, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't
and
know if Latinos
now
have
I
it,
can
but
understand.
yeah.
And I say, oh, it's really happening.
Yeah, I wish I had a teacher like myself in Spanish, because that's one thing I still can't do in Spanish. I have no idea what Latinos are saying to each other when they're talking to each other. I'll be like on the bus or in a restaurant, and I'll try to eavesdrop, try to get some gossip, and I don't understand anything. It's like, God, man, I need to get better Spanish.
No, even like when exactly when I start with you like last December, even I was like I could communicate it with some Americans. If they weren't like talking to me, I couldn't get the information. Like no, just but now I can, and I say, oh, that is a good like a good like something that I realized that I already improved.
Yeah, because the other thing too is you never know if they're talking about you. Yeah, when I'm in Latin America, like, oh, are they talking about me behind my back? What are they saying? Yeah, so same thing for Latinos in the United States or Canada. You never know. Maybe the gringo is talking about you, but you don't know because you can't listen to what they're saying. All right, so your biggest challenges when you first started taking classes were speaking, and yeah, it's confident speaking, right? That was the biggest thing, just getting more confident speaking, and then just being able to understand what the gringos were saying.
Yeah, exactly.
And yeah, because like you said, you didn't know what to expect in my classes. So before you started, did you have a picture in your mind of what the classes were going to be like?
No, never.
No?
No, never.
All right.
I never imagined that what it's gonna be.
And then after you took the classes, well, I don't know, were you surprised? Was like, oh yeah, this makes sense that Profe Kyle would have classes like this? Or did you say, holy cow, this is a lot different than what I expected? Even if I didn't expect anything, this is way different than what I expected.
Yeah, exactly. I wasn't didn't expecting something, but I was surprised about like the way that you teach the classes, but surprised in a good way.
And well, I'm pretty sure there's lots of surprises because yeah, I have different classes. But yeah, what was the biggest surprise to you? Was it the class dynamic? Was it the type of classes?
Like that you didn't take in test.
Yeah, I don't like tests. Yeah, I don't like tests. So that's the biggest surprise for
Yeah, and
you, and you're happy about that?
I am like I the whole also sorry,
No, yeah.
whole of my life, like you are you're supposed to take tests always. And
Yeah.
when I started with you, like that was like super weird for me, but it was good because it works.
Yeah, well, I guess quickly for people who just heard what Fernanda said. So in my classes, we don't really take tests. So I think Fernanda started to do like, I call it now the group exam. So it's like the vocabulary review at the end of the month. I think I started doing it with Fernanda when she stopped taking
Yeah, I
classes.
really enjoyed that part.
Yeah. So
you know, when you go out to your comfort zone, you feel like, and this is looks like a test, so I'm happy.
Yeah. So I guess it's an exam, but at the same time, you guys do it together, and
Yeah, it's really good. I love that part.
yeah. So, but I don't really have exams because just my belief for learning languages, and for me, the people that I respect that teach languages or learn languages, yeah, it's like you get better or you get better. As Latinos like to say sometimes, sí o sí. Just vas a mejorar, sí o sí. You're gonna get better. Yes or yes. And so with my classes, it's just, okay, I'm going to give my students interesting content, interesting materials. They're going to interact with it, and then they're going to get better at English. Of course, if I say this, you might think, oh, you're a lazy teacher. You just, yeah, because that's one thing that drives me crazy, Fernanda. There'll be these teachers that say, I teach in a natural way. And then all it is just them talking for an hour just about whatever.
I don't know. Another thing that I really enjoy of your classes is like you bring us like the real American life, even if you don't live here. That is surprise to me. Like, of course, you know, like how they express, like how they act in for everything, like the cultural thing here, like the songs that after you teach me like some songs, I hear it in the street and I say, okay, that's what Kyle referred, like like the American culture is it true, like the food that they eat, the things that they do, like how they express, you teach all of those things, and it's really, I like, of course, I think some people that take your classes and doesn't live here, of course they don't know, but I am pretty sure when they came here, they are gonna realize that a lot of things, and also like watching the movies and watching the news or something.
Yeah, for sure. I think because what I find is that normally the students that stay with me the longest are usually the ones that live in the United States because they have faces. I always like that in classes when I have the students that live in Canada, United States, they have the face like, holy cow, yeah, that's
It's
right.
true.
That's exactly what happens. And it's like, I noticed that with Canadians and Americans, they do that. It's like, oh yeah, like
exactly.
I heard
Totally.
that. Yeah. So yeah, because there's a gringo culture. Sometimes Latinos don't want to believe it, but there's a gringo culture, and it is very
And
unique. Because
in some
I
other
think yeah,
courses that
yeah.
I took, like in Venezuela and everything, like they give you like a conversation that I don't know where is that, like, hi, how are you? How are you doing? I don't know, some things like
Mhm,
words that they don't speak like that. You
mhm,
you're never heard like a American talking that slow.
mhm.
Never.
Yeah. It's true. Yeah, the type of
Yeah,
things
like
that they
some
teach.
records, like
Mhm,
they're not like a real records that can help you maybe in an exam or something like that, but it is not gonna help you in real life.
mhm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I try to give you guys the real language. That's for sure. All right. So, oh, now where was I? We got to get back on track. Yeah. So the biggest surprise for you taking the classes was just the fact, the cultural aspect that you could like, learn like how gringos actually were. What other surprises did you have in classes? What else surprised you?
The way I think the way that you like teach, like
Yeah.
how you like the music class, like they're two different, like the speaking part when the
Mhm,
pronunciation, like I never see that before.
mhm. It's the way that I divide the month. I explained
Yeah,
this in other
exactly,
interviews,
the
but I'll explain it
classes.
quickly for anybody watching this. So normally in the group classes, there's 8 classes, but each class is different. So yeah, it's just always different. So like Fernanda said, there's speaking, there's music, there's pronunciation, there's I guess gringo culture. I don't know what to call that class. Yeah, so I split it up. So for you, it's just interesting to have a wide variety of ways to learn English.
Exactly.
Mhm. And did you have a favorite? Well, I always like asking that question because it's always difficult for the students. Like, I don't know, but do you have a favorite class that you took? One that you always looked forward to?
Um, I like the music part, even when you like pick a suicide song or something like that. But
Uh,
I like that,
mhm,
and also the review part because
mhm,
I love take notes,
mhm,
and I realized at that time that I learned a lot of things.
mhm,
So in that review that is long,
mhm,
but it cover everything, like almost everything, like the highlights or the key points
mhm,
that we learn in the week, in the month,
mhm.
and I enjoy that.
Yeah. Actually, I was happy with your class. Yeah, because your class, you, Mary Angelica, Andrea, you guys all took notes. And I'm not gonna lie, I always thought, because when I was in school, like elementary school, middle school, high school, there's always girls taking lots of notes with highlighters and stuff. And I never was like that. I was like, oh, these girls taking notes. Yeah. And that's one thing for like, I never tell you guys to take notes, right? Like,
Never.
yeah. So like, there's
Yeah.
no exams, and I never tell you guys, okay, you guys gotta take notes.
Yeah, it's because it's your decision. Like
Mhm,
I think all also like learn a second language. Yeah, you need to want to do it. You
mhm,
need to don't not just like taking the class. Also, you recommend us like read books and watch series in English with English subtitles. And when we felt ready, we take off the subtitles,
mhm,
and you need to make an effort like
mhm,
to improve. It's not Profe Kyle is not gonna do magic on your brain. You need to do other things.
mhm.
Even if you're living in Miami, you can like do another things to improve your languages.
Yeah, yeah. For me, I don't think I ever told Fernanda that's what I do, but that's exactly my point of view. Is like, okay, my job as a teacher is to give you guys interesting materials. You guys can work as hard as you want, And I always tell people on social media, I'm not a magic worker. It's not like you're gonna take classes with me and your English is gonna improve overnight. Like I give you the best materials that a Latino can find in the world for learning English. Your job is to just put in the work and try to improve every day. I guess we'll talk about that now. So your biggest challenges, weaknesses when you're starting were confidence in speaking and listening. So after taking the classes for 10 months, more or less, what improved the most from your time doing the classes?
I think both. I think I'm doing this interview with you. I don't I don't believe that maybe like 1 year, the last year I could do this.
Mhm.
And the listening part that I told you, like I could now I could hear and understand what the other people said,
Mhm.
and I like before I can do it.
Like, because for me, I'm always surprised. All the students say that they always talk about listening improves a lot. Now I think I know why, but I want to ask you first. Can you tell me why, or tell the people, why did your listening improve? Do you think, was there something that happened in the classes that improved your listening?
Yeah, of course. I think um you speak like perfectly to understand.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Like, yeah, like, and when you like try to, maybe you work out your sense, like, I don't know how to say that,
I
like
don't
the
know.
sense, like the when you
Uh-huh.
your five sense, like you see,
Oh, it's like,
your
so,
listen.
yeah. So like when
What
I
is that?
communicate, five senses, five senses.
Ah, I was right.
No, no, yeah,
Senses.
yeah.
Yeah.
Wait,
If
yeah.
you try like to in a like in a different way to say it, like you are
Mhm.
working out your senses, you need to use it.
Mhm.
And and when in your classes, we
Mhm.
did it a lot. You speak, you explain us like the things in a way, and in a manner, in the way that you talk
Mhm.
is easy to understand you.
Mhm.
And you have a perfect accent, obviously.
Yeah.
And I think that, and the music and the movies part, I remember that at the first movie
Mhm.
part, when we listen and we don't have subtitles, you
Yeah.
you gave us like some videos, and at the first times I was like a little loose, but like
Mhm.
when the months like pass,
Mhm.
I feel better. I understand.
Mhm.
I'm
I was
more.
a lot more confident. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's interesting they said that, because normally what students will say is that, and who knows, maybe you'll change your mind, but they'll usually say that they learn because I teach the pronunciation. Because I teach the pronunciation, it's easier to listen. But I've also heard students say the same thing that you said, which is a good thing, but also frustrates me too, because it's difficult to duplicate Profe Kyle. So yeah, I've had students tell, it's the way you speak. You speak in such a good way.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why it's hard to find other teachers, because it's hard to find other
Yeah,
teacher
yeah.
that
You,
speaks
you
like
need
me.
like to train other people. I asked you also if you like give some uh one-on-one classes or
Mhm.
something like that, because we need you.
Mhm. Yeah, the world needs more Profe Kyle.
Yeah,
I don't want to be cocky, but yes, I agree. The world needs more Profe Kyles.
yeah,
I
it's true. I,
wish.
I agree with that.
All right. Yes. So your listening improved. You were happy with the results you got after 10 months, right?
Yeah.
All right, good. And okay, we're getting close to the end here. How would you describe the Profe Kyle methodology? Because for me, I always have a hard time. People always ask me, they'll send me a question Instagram or WhatsApp saying, tell me about your methodology. And I was like, I don't know what to say. So how would you describe the Profe Kyle methodology in as little words as possible?
Okay, I could say fun
Okay.
and something different, that is a methodology different that you can imagine, like something
Mhm.
that you didn't expect,
Mhm.
but in in the best way that you can imagine.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not, you're gonna learn. You're going to learn. Like
Yeah.
just just be confident.
That's kind of what I want to tell people sometimes. Like, just take the
Don't ask me.
classes. Yeah, don't ask questions. Just take the classes. Don't ask me questions. It's just, yeah, I'm just
Yeah,
gonna say
because
like,
it's,
yeah.
it's different to explain. Like it's difficult. Like
Mhm.
how you can explain your classes. Like you need to live
Yeah, and
to
then you
live there.
experience them. You gotta experience them. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
you
what I
need to
tell people. Like, just take 1 month of classes. Like, it's not gonna kill you. Take 1 month of classes, and then yeah, you'll know what the classes are like after you take 1 month.
yeah.
I don't know what else I can tell
Yeah,
you.
after the whole month, because if you lose like 3 classes, there are different things in the class.
Yeah,
Like
it's
it's
true.
not the
Well,
same.
yeah. Because of course, students miss classes, and if you only take 1 month and you miss a few classes, then you're gonna be missing some interesting classes. So yeah, good
Yeah,
point,
exactly.
Fernanda. So you gotta make sure you go to all the classes. So you take 1 month, like Fernanda said, you gotta take all the classes, or else you're gonna not know the complete methodology.
Exactly.
All right. Well, Fernanda, I think those were most of the questions I have for you about the classes. Anything else you could add about your time in the classes that people should know about?
Yeah, I was it was a really good time. I learned a lot of things. I admire you, Kyle. Like you teach very well. I recommend everyone. I always like tell my friends stories about the classes and
Mhm.
everything. That is a good course that you should take.
Fantastic. Oh, but Fernanda calls it a course. That drives me. It's not a course of classes. It's not a course. Okay, good. Well, Fernanda, I think I would like to talk to you more. It's always a pleasure to talk to you. But I think that's all the questions I had. So everybody, we're gonna say goodbye to Fernanda. I'm gonna talk to her a little bit more after we finish this interview. But for everybody watching, thank you for watching this interview. Of course, if you want information about the classes, go to profekyle.com. Read the information first. Don't send me a message asking for information, because as Fernanda probably knows, that makes me very angry. So yeah, read the
Yeah.
information first. All right. So thank you, Fernanda. And everybody, will see you soon.
Bye. Thank you.